Hello and welcome back, friends, to another episode of Lynch Paints, where I, Lynch, will be showing you all how to paint the Salamanders for your Horus Heresy armies. So let's grab our paints and paintbrushes and flamers and let's dive straight into it. And of course, as always, we're going to need a selection of paints, and these are all the ones I've used in this video today to paint the Salamander, alongside which we will need a medium-sized brush, a smaller brush, and a teeny weeny tiny brush for those teeny tiny places. So, as always, step one, we're going to apply a black acrylic primer over the model, just to get them ready. And then what we will do next is that we'll grab a medium-sized brush and we're going to mix up some Caliban green with some of this lovely Mk3 green. And we will want probably a 50-50 ratio of the two. Just going to get some more here. And we're going to use this as our first layer over the main armor panels. So next up, we're going to use the same brush again, and we're just going to add in a little bit more Mk3 green, and we're going to effectively sort of dry brush, or do like a heavy dry brush over the top of where we've been before. And then we're going to keep on doing this method, slowly building up until we are effectively just highlighting with Mk3 green. And the Mk3s and also the Mk2s are fantastic for this kind of dry brushing approach, because they have many layers and many edges in order for your dry brushing to pick up on. So now I'm going to be using pure Mk3 green, and I'm just going to be switching between this medium-sized brush and later on a thinner brush, just to highlight the armor panels. And I quite like the texture that this provides, because it adds more of a kind of a dirty, sort of weathered effect. It's not very clean, which is sort of the aim that I want to achieve with my salamanders. So next up, we're going to be looking at the black areas. So I've just mixed up some of this Incubi darkness with a little bit of Abaddon black, and we are going to use this just to elevate the dark areas, just so it's not a flat black, and just helps just to make it stand out a little bit too. So now just mixing in even more of the Incubi darkness, and I'm just going to pick out sort of the final little areas. It's like a sort of a final highlight. In this you can use either dry brushing or you can wet blend, whichever way works best for you. So our Salamander Sergeant is very nearly ready to hit the battlefield, but first, before he can do that, we're going to look at all of his lovely trim. So I'm going to start out with this Brass Scorpion, which is a lovely sort of darker sort of gold to work with, and then we'll build up to a lighter shade. So for now we're just going to look at the trims, and for this you're going to want just a thinner size brush, just so you have more control and you're not going to be accidentally painting areas gold where they shouldn't be. So moving on to the next shade of gold, we're going to be using some of this lovely retribution armor. And with this, we're just going to highlight the previous areas of gold, just so that it stands out just that little bit more. So now it's time for that all-important metal areas. So we're going to take some of this Iron Warriors silver, and then one of our previous brushes from before. And we're just going to dry brush over the areas that we want to be nice and silver. And this you can be as rough or as clean as you like. It entirely depends on what sort of effect that you want at the end. So I'm just going to sort of roughly dry brush, as I'd like to have a slightly sort of more worn effect to this miniature. And then what we can do while we've got the silver is just give the gold just a little bit of a highlight with the silver. This just helps to make it stand out and again make it look a little bit more worn. So, as this is the Sergeant, we're going to look at some of his accessories that he has. So I'm going to start out with the banners and the sort of the cloth that's on his Legion standard up at the top. I'm going to use some of this Morghast bone, and just with a medium-sized brush we're just going to pick out all of the cloth work. And then with the laurels up at the top, I'm just going to use a mixture of Lauren green and the Caliban green. Then just to finish off with the cloth areas, we're just going to grab some of this good old Agrat's shade. And then we're just going to apply a nice layer just over the top. This will help to darken it down and just to pick out any of the recesses as well and make it look a little bit more weathered. And while we have the Agrax, we will go over the gold trim. This will just help to blend the colours in a little bit and just to add a little bit more contrast to our gold areas. And while the Agrax is drying, we're just going to take some of this Beltan green and just apply it over our laurels. So while those areas are drying, we're going to move on to a little fiddly bit. So we're going to grab some Mephiston red and mix in some Abaddon black, and we're going to be doing the lenses. So you want to go in first with some Abaddon black just to tidy up the lens areas, and then we're going to start to slowly add in the Mephiston red to the front areas of the eyes. So we're going to leave the back black, and then as we build up the colours, the red, we're going to be moving more and more towards the middle of the eyes, and this helps to build a nice blend and give that sort of light effect that we want to try and achieve. Then I mixed in just a little bit of yellow just to brighten our red, just to add in a tiny little bit at the very end of the lenses. Just like that. And then just to really help sell the effect, we're just going to add in a tiny white dot using some of this white scar just at the back of the lens. So we're going to want to pop a little bit here. And then one here. just like that. Okay, so he's pretty much ready. So I went over a couple of little details. So I added in sort of Vulcan and some little squiggly squiggles just on top of there, just to represent some kind of text. The little Salamander logo up at the top, I just sort of freehanded that because I thought it's going to be quite a pain to try and get a transfer into there. But yeah, I mean, at this point, he is ready for additional transfers on his shoulder pads, maybe his knees as well, and some basing, but I'll probably do that at a later stage. So yeah, so he is pretty much finished. And so this is how I went about painting the Salamanders Legion for Warhammer 40k, the Horus Heresy. I do hope that you've all enjoyed this video and learned something new, and if you did, a like and subscribe would be massively appreciated. If you wanted to pick up some of these models for yourselves, I do have a link for Wayland Games in the description down below. It's a affiliate link of mine, so if you click on that and order something through there, a little bit goes towards me and helps just to support the channel and allows me to get some new projects in, to create videos for everyone to watch along at home, on the bus, on the train, wherever you like to watch my videos. And it just really does help an awful lot, so massively appreciated if you do click that link as well. There'll be stills and reels of this miniature over at my Instagram page at Lynch Paints. If you want to check me out over there, that'd be awesome. So Salamanders, I mean, I've had these in my drawer for many years, and they've been an army that I wanted to get off the ground a little bit, and now I've reached a comfortable point with my Night Lords that I'm going to start to unearth and dig out my Salamanders, give them a new lease of life, give them a good repaint as well with a lot of them, and get them on the tabletop and hopefully use them in some future battle reports as well. But that would be a bit of a long road because, yeah, a lot of them do need some serious rework. So yeah, and any like bigger models and such, I'll be doing videos as well of how I went about painting them as well. So yeah, there's be lots more content going forward in the new year. So have a lovely day wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, stay beautiful, and we'll see you next time.